I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial and Mom. And we are doing our third edition of the weekly recap.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to know how everyone's doing out there.
Yeah.
What y'all been up to? Have y'all been chilling? Have y'all been bored? Because I've been a mixture of both. How was your week, Whit?
My week?
Yeah,
I've been
girl.
working. Yeah, girl. I've been working from home, which, like I touched in last video, I'm one of the fortunate people who happen to work from home anyways. But we were recalled back to the office.
What office? People don't know what office you work in.
Well, I can't say what office, but just know that I work for the VA system, the Veterans Administration, and we've been recalled back to the office. So that means I'm going to have to show my face in there at least one time this week.
You forgot the most important part.
What?
You've been recalled back to the office after she found out that someone in her office got the coronavirus.
Right. They were diagnosed the week of February 27th. But no more comments.
Crazy. Well, on the topic of the coronavirus, we are going to talk about it probably in every video until it goes away. But we're not going to talk about it too much because basically everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Everyone hears about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's been infected by it.
Effective, not infected.
Same thing.
It's not. Infected means you have the virus. Affected means you're day to day.
Well, both.
No.
In simple terms. So, we're not going to talk too much about it, but we are going to speak about what's going on here in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys seen the video I posted a little bit earlier today about how we drove down the strip in downtown. I know some people call it Old Las Vegas because it's so funny. When I used to work at this one industry job, because if I was still working there, I would have been laid off right now, but I don't. But tourists will always come up to me and be like, "Oh, how do you get to Old Las Vegas?" At first I was like, "What?" Who?
But if they don't know, they don't know.
No, to me, I didn't know people still call downtown or Fremont Street Old Las Vegas.
Well, how old were they? The people asking this question.
Different ages.
Oh, well, we don't know what people know or what they learn outside of here. I mean, you were born and raised, so you know that we just call it downtown. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we took video of that too, and I'm here to tell you, it is so different from when you see it on TV, even though we live here, and you actually go down there. Because to actually see nobody down there was a trip. And even more of a trip was being able to see buildings clear. Because I'm like, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah. Well, it's like, when did we get that? But
I didn't know nothing.
Yeah, and also too, because there's so many tourists, like those of you who may live in tourist destination, it's hard to drive and even to walk because so many pedestrians and tourists, even locals who work downtown. And on the strip, there is a slight difference, but not much. It's still on Las Vegas Boulevard. But just to be able to drive from one end to the other in less than 10 minutes is unheard of.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you can't do that. In the beginning,
it takes 10 minutes to drive from one block to the next.
In the beginning, I've kind of forgot to press the record button, so I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to go back around.
Yeah.
Do you know my mom was able to get over in 5 lanes?
Right.
On the strip?
If we had did that regularly, because
please,
we were going to do a Vegas Eats, and maybe one day in the near future we can do that again once things hopefully return to normalcy soon. But I was like, if you didn't have that record button on a busy day, it would have been an oh well.
Mm-hmm. And on a Friday.
Yeah.
That's so unheard of. So it was kind of eerie a little bit.
Very.
But
I was disturbed by that.
I mean, everything's going to go back to normal, I'm sure, soon. But this Vegas economy is definitely going to take some time to recuperate. So
yeah,
my heart definitely goes out to the people in the industry because, geez, how much? They say 95% of them
are laid off.
It's a huge number. So that's pretty much the updates for Las Vegas. We're shut down for 30 days, but I've heard from like some of my friends who work at non-essential businesses that they might get like a little leeway, might open up within 2 to 3 weeks, but I kind of highly doubt that.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, also, if you want to know more news about the coronavirus, like real like news and stuff, because we're not going to go into detail about it.
No.
You can follow Lovely T because she definitely has all the resources for that. So let her know that we sent you over there, YouTube community.
Well, the most interesting thing is from just this morning's details about the corona outbreak was in Vice President Pence's office, several staffers have tested positive. So the vice president and his wife will be tested today. So.
I mean, I'm sure they got it.
Well, not necessarily, because if you're a staffer, as it was explained, he doesn't necessarily have contact with the regular staff. So it just depends on, if they've had direct contact or not. But still, if you've been in and out your office where they work, it's a chance that you might, because they said several staffers, so several is more than 3.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot, but people should have been on this earlier. But it's okay because we on it right now. Also, there is a little rumor going around that they gonna give out some money to adults, 18 and up. What is it? $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah, they're working on that now, so hopefully they'll have a vote by Monday. The goal is Monday to see how much, when, and how soon you'll receive it. So.
Do you think they're gonna give us that money? Hold on. I had a friend, and you know this friend.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask yet.
We're not gonna shout him out. He already know who he is. So I kind of just gave him away. But anyways, he said that he doesn't believe that we're just gonna get this money. And it's just gonna be like without any paybacks or anything.
Well,
or tax write-offs.
Well, until they pass the bill, you don't know what will happen, because the rumor that I heard just by listening to all the reports that it's a possibility that it may be tax-free, or if you get a refund, they may deduct it from a future refund or something like that. But until it's set in stone and they vote and approve it, then we'll know how it is and whatever. So rumors right now mean nothing. So, and I do know who you're talking about.
But at this time, we also would like to thank all the people who are still out here working, especially the people in the hospitals, especially the food people, because I went to a food store. Okay, let me tell you, I was there at 8:30, and I don't do things early. I usually do things at like 2 o'clock.
That's way too late for me.
If I went at 2 o'clock, I probably would have found nothing. But I went at 8:30 in the morning. There was a long line.
Why are you surprised at this? I was trying to tell you. See, normally it would be me, because I'm the one that... See, now you know why I go out and get groceries early, way before this pandemic hit, because I like to get in, get out. You get your best selection. You don't have to worry about it. But now stores are on limited hours, so people who are laid off or just whatever have to be in line earlier than the stores open. So yeah, when I asked you to go, of course there's going to be a line.
I was just shocked by how long the line was.
Well, I wasn't.
And then not only was the line long, but the lady was like, you can only get 2 cans.
Yeah, 2 of everything.
Only get 2 cereals. You can't get 2 Fruit Loops and 2 honey bunches of oats. It's either one or the other. I'm just like, dang.
Well, let me tell you this. This is the difference between Millennial and Mom. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on.
I need you to explain that a little bit more.
What, Millennial and Mom?
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that does the grocery shopping. I plan for everything. Everything we do in our daily living, So when I asked you to go and I knew the store's open at 8, you were already really 2 hours behind the curve.
Clearly I was.
Because on the last video when I touched on, I went to 5 different stores. What you thought was going to happen when you went to a store?
I mean, I thought I was early.
Okay.
But I guess I was late.
You were very late because people line up early. Just like a Black Friday sale. People line up early and in advance, especially for food and toiletries, things that are necessary. that you can't find, people will line up. Say it with me. Early. Now let's move on.
Okay, well, moving on from the topic of the coronavirus, because you could pretty much hear it anywhere, I do want to talk about this Netflix series, about 2 Netflix series that I saw while, quarantine. One called Pandemic and the other one called Self-Made. So Pandemic is kind of like a weird time that it dropped because it's talking about, what would basically the U.S., not just other countries, the U.S. do if we did come in a pandemic.
Wait, what year was it filmed?
I'm not too sure the year it was filmed because I wasn't paying attention because I was on my phone, or it didn't show, but I can tell it was within the last 2 years.
Well, I don't think it was a coincidence that Netflix dropped it now. People need to be informed, and if there's being informed about pandemics in the past, they put it on Netflix. They know people are at home, so the likelihood of you watching it might be high.
Well, not, a coincidence. It's because of when it was filmed, when everything was filmed. Because they were talking, at the time, they were talking about the Ebola virus in Africa, and in the swine flu in India, or H1N1, whatever one you know it as. It's about this, it's featuring one of the lady doctors in New York, who does, epidemiologists, drills and stuff like that for the hospitals.
Yeah.
They're talking about that. They were talking about this lady physician in a small town who works 72-hour shifts, and how it's kind of hard for her to do everything, and if it was a pandemic she wouldn't be prepared. It was talking about immigrants at the borders, how it's hard for them to get vaccines. It was talking about how some people don't want their children to be vaccinated. It was just basically talking about all that stuff, but the premise basically was, we are not prepared for a pandemic. And I think we could see that as of now, because they were it's not about who it's gonna be. It was kind of about who it's gonna be, but when and where they're gonna find that patient zero.
Yeah.
So it was basically talking about that. I would definitely give that a watch because I know most of y'all have time. And it's actually really good and informative. It talks about the Spanish flu in 1918. Because I've heard about it briefly in school, but I don't think we ever talked about it or went into detail about it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. What I learned.
Yeah.
So that one, and then Self-Made about Madam C.J. Walker. I'm gonna touch on a few points. It's a quick docuseries. It's only 4 episodes, but I'm gonna touch on a few points that I did not know.
Okay.
And I want to know if you know.
Okay.
Because I did not know at all.
Okay.
One, her name is really not even Madam C.J. Walker. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Her name's Sarah.
Okay.
I was where did she get C.J. Walker from? But that's from her last husband.
Gotcha.
His name is C.J. Walker, so she put Madam in front of it, to respect the family household. That was one. 2, that she was the first female self-made millionaire. I didn't know that. I thought she was the first black one. I didn't know she was the first.
Oh, I didn't know she was the first. I thought she was the first black one too. Okay.
She's in the Guinness Book of World Records. She lived next to the Rockefellers. Her daughter was queer back in those days, and she helped form.
That's what they called them, queer, back in the day.
Yeah, well, that's what I guess she was referring herself as. Because that's what I saw online. Because I had to look up some things because a lot of things weren't really too clear in the docuseries. So I just wanted to look it up to be sure. And she formed one of the first Harlem Renaissance for queer people and stuff, and the arts and music. So I thought that was really cool, especially back in those days,
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on back in those days.
Because you don't hear about those stuff like that. Unless you read stuff intentionally about it, but it's not going to be in the books or anything. Because I didn't even know she had a daughter. Her and Booker T. Washington did not see eye to eye. And I thought this was very interesting because I remember distinctively learning about Booker T. Washington in school.
Yes.
How he was just like this good man to fight for African American rights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked this up after I saw the docuseries, because they made it seem like he wasn't really here for like black women's rights. It was like black men's rights before black women's rights.
Okay.
And I was like, huh? Really? I was shocked when I heard this. Because they just made him seem like, I'm not saying he's not a stand-up man, but like just pro, African American civil rights, period. And then when I went to go look him up, I learned that he was at this time beefing, because I don't know any other words I can put, with W.E.B. Du Bois. I was like, what? Like he was against the NAACP.
I mean, people have their own minds, their own thoughts, and the way they think the world should be, or people should be, or organizations should be. I mean, just because you're of the same background doesn't mean you have the same beliefs. So,
but what I'm trying to make a point is in school, when you learn stuff in school, I don't know how other districts do, but I know here in Vegas, when I learned about Black history, Booker T. Washington and all the other stuff, they make it seem like everyone's collectively for the black movement, no matter if you're black male or female. But I guess sometimes you have to remember at the times, it's like, women are still seen less than men.
Yeah.
I.e. the women's suffrage movement.
I was just about to say that.
And black people don't usually agree with other black people. I guess what they say, skin folk and kinfolk. But I don't know. I was just really shocked by that. I was just like, dang.
So what you get from the documentary overall?
That. And there was a lot of colorist issues in it. But one of my my major dislikes about the docuseries was the music. Because they were playing like updated music, like the Harlem Shake, and I'm not talking about the Harlem Shake. I'm talking about the techno Harlem Shake.
Really?
I'm like, this don't go together.
I'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, you definitely should watch it. I definitely recommend it. It's a nice, quick, short docuseries. You learn a little something about, black people. They should put it in February because it was Black History Month. But, you put it out when you put it out, I guess.
Okay.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Awesome.
Definitely give those two a watch. Now we're going to move on.
Let's do it.
To something that also shocked me. But I'm not a sports fan like my mom. Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers.
You make me laugh with that. Non-sports fan. Tom Brady went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, he did.
Is there a difference?
Well, I mean, just say the whole name.
I thought I did. I thought it was the same thing.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that is the biggest news coming out of the NFL, that Tom Brady, after 20 years with the Patriots, who went to 9 Super Bowls, which is amazing by itself, won 6 Super Bowls. I was low-key hating on that because, my team hadn't been there in a minute, but I'm not going to get into that, is now with Tampa Bay. I was like, wow. Now, that is one team I didn't think he would sign with at all. I thought he may sign with, let's say, like the San Diego Chargers, even though they may not have been in the running for that. But that's because his family's from California. I thought maybe he wanted to go home, be closer to his mom, because his mom has had health issues in the past. Yes.
Wait, doesn't his wife model? Is her name
Gisele Bündchen? Yeah, she's from Brazil. She, remember when the Olympics was, 2016 in Brazil? Was it 16? Something like that. That was her last modeling debut.
Oh.
Yeah, so. Other NFL news, since you just transitioned. Last video I touched on the NFL draft being here in Vegas. I said my lip would quiver if they canceled it. Well, my lip quivered.
Wait, I didn't see them. Okay, hold on. First, we're going to go back to Tom Brady.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
That's
I
okay.
just had a thought. Because at first, I'm like, why would he even go to, like, the Florida, Miami, Dade County, wherever that is, area?
Tampa Bay. It's Tampa Bay. It's not Miami.
In
it's
Florida,
Tampa Bay.
somewhere in Florida, wherever it is.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, maybe it's because of his wife. Because she did modeling thing. But now you say she don't model. No. I'm just like, well, do you think he did that because he just wanted to like jump to another team before he retired?
I personally would have thought he would have retired with the Patriots. I mean, 20 years, the same team. You know how hard it is to stay with the same team all your career? It's rare. I don't know why he went to Florida. Maybe because it's warm? I don't know. Only Tom knows why.
Mm-hmm. And now, with the draft.
Yes.
They canceled the whole draft?
Yes, ma'am.
Like the players coming here and everything?
I don't know where the players are going to be. I just know that the NFL draft that was scheduled here in Las Vegas, April 23rd through the 25th, is canceled to the public now since the casinos are shut down. I don't know where they're going to have to draft.
That's so crazy. I remember when we first found out about it 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
We just knew we was about to be on the strip. I knew I was about to be in some clubs. I just knew. We just knew. We knew something.
We did. So excited. You'll be able to see the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium, which is called Allegiant Stadium, in our video that you posted in the link below. But since the draft is canceled, I don't know where they're going to hold it. They may hold it by Skype. Teams may just be on Skype calling the players that they want. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to go. Also, that's the biggest NFL news so far. The latest NBA news is that the NBA says they're going to pay the full salaries to the players by April 1st. The NBA also said they would take salaries back. Let me get my glasses for this one. Let's see. To recoup future salaries for future games on April 15th, according to the memo that the NBA league sent out to the league. Also, Commissioner Adam Silver says NBA could possibly return by mid-June. So that's good for sports fans that they can return by mid-June. Baseball news, MLB, Major League Baseball training camps are delayed for now, but they did say that minor leaguers will be paid through April 8th. So that's a good thing. And in NHL news, the National Hockey League, the new expansion team is in Seattle, Washington. And they are the 32nd hockey team to come about because you know who the 31st hockey team was?
I'm going to assume it was here.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights. We'll get into that in just a second. The Seattle expansion team doesn't have a name yet, but they're still working on their logo, and the fans up there are excited. But with all the cases of corona coming up in Washington right now, you know that I don't know what the ticket holders are going to look like and when they're going to play games since the season hadn't started yet. But they won't come along to the next 21-22 season, so hopefully things have calmed down by then. Mm-hmm. But getting back to the Las Vegas Golden Knights, do you know in our inaugural season, do you remember? In 2017?
Of course I remember. Everybody who lives here remembers.
Well, we're not talking to everybody. We're talking to you, our YouTube family. We went to the Stanley Cup Finals in our first inaugural season, 2017. Now, although we lost to the Washington Capitals, we came in second place, and hockey has been hot here for a very long time. So now with the NFL draft that was coming, we have the Las Vegas Raiders here. We have the Las Vegas Golden Knights National Hockey League. They're thinking about a Major League Baseball team coming and a Major League Soccer team coming. We do have a minor league team called the Las Vegas Lights. Oh, we do have a WNBA team called the Las Vegas Aces. So we have them here too. But we're starting to become a sports city, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming drafts of any kind from any team that we get, because I just plan on supporting Las Vegas because people just think we're a tourist town when we have all these things, sports teams and other recreational things, like we have a lake here and different mountains, things like that people hike at. Lots of things that people don't know about. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that all those athletes are getting paid. I just want the people who are supposed to work at these venues, full-time and part-time, because I keep hearing people just keep saying full-time, full-time, full-time. No, not saying anything about part-time people getting paid too. I mean, maybe not so much on call because, on call is kind of much here, there. Sometimes you work 1 month, maybe not so much next month. But definitely part time because they definitely work between, if you were my job, 5 days. But
Well, 5 days in part time, that's full
they
time.
said I was part time. It's 5 days. But, between 1 and 3 is usually part time. So hopefully they get paid too. And I know that some players are giving their salary to them.
Yeah,
which
I've
is
heard that too.
very
That's
good.
nice. Yeah.
And what I do, going back in Corona just for a little bit, appreciate about this time is not all, because some of y'all still being shady and selfish in them stores.
Most people.
But a lot of people are showing solidarity,
Yeah.
coming together. And I really, 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 really do appreciate that.
Very much.
Humanity, because humanity can't survive if y'all gonna be selfish.
Right. Because just think about it. If someone is hoarding something, so what, your family's the only family that's going to survive? And then what?
I don't even know about that one. But we're going to jump along and give out some condolences, because I heard in Utah this past week they had an earthquake.
They had an earthquake. Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, for those of you who don't know, is only, 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours from Las Vegas. So, and we found that out on the news. I'm surprised it wasn't more known. But see, there's so much more news stories going on out there in your local cities and towns that this corona pandemic has pushed those down. And when we find out about them during the outbreak or just during our weekly recap, we'll be sure to pass along and let you know.
Yeah, did you hear that Carson City had a little earthquake too?
Carson City? No.
Somewhere in Nevada. It might not have been Carson City, but it was something with 2 names in it. Here in Nevada had a little mini earthquake as well.
I didn't.
I heard about that. And also want to give our condolences to Floyd Mayweather.
Wow, back-to-back tragedies in that family.
Yeah.
So sad.
His uncle died just this past week. And
they said complications with his diabetes. He's been sick off and on for quite some time.
yeah, and if you don't know that Floyd Mayweather lives here, he lives here. I haven't personally seen him, but he's been around. He has a strip club here and everything. He has his own boxing studio, his own barbershop here. So he's kind of like a staple here.
I've seen not the barbershop. I've seen the boxing studio. That's out there.
I've heard of the barbershop.
That's on Spring Mountain.
I know some people who went to the barbershop.
I think it's on Spring Mountain, but I've seen it though.
I'm sure it's on Spring Mountain.
More than likely.
But yeah, he's definitely a staple here, so he's well known here. So we definitely want to give our condolences out to him in this time of tragedy.
Yes.
And also, I've been thinking about we should do together.
What's that?
And put on here.
What?
Do a little Millennial Mom perspective thing.
Okay.
Of album reviews. I think that'd be so interesting.
Wow. One of my favorite artists just was on a Stage It just last night.
A what?
Stage It.
What's a Stage It?
Well, we'll have to tell the people in our review.
Well, I want to know what a Stage It is.
A Stage It is, because he actually goes live. A Stage It is where all these artists go online. You do have to pay a small thing to
do
watch.
Concerts?
Yeah.
Oh, you could just said that.
I did. Stage It.
I never heard of Stage It.
.com.
I just heard of, doing stuff on IG Live.
STAGE.IT.
No.
Stage It.
Interesting. Well, The Weeknd just dropped a new album amongst all this stuff that's been going on. And I gave a listen to it. I'm not going to say I wasn't feeling the album 100%, but I'm going to say I wasn't feeling the album 100%. Because it was definitely giving me 80s vibes, because you heard some of the songs that came out already. I didn't really care for maybe one of them, because I think he dropped 2 that's been on the radio. I didn't really care for one of them, but his album, like I said, is definitely giving me 80s vibes.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are we doing the album review now, or if there was a separate video? Because if it's now, I can tell you.
An album review is listening to it, each song.
Well, I know what. Okay, I know.
So I'm not doing an album review. I'm giving a general review.
But do you want me to say who was on Stage It, because you're talking about The Weeknd?
Yeah.
Raheem DeVaughn. Raheem DeVaughn is one of my favorite all-time artists. He is a neo-soul artist out of Philadelphia. He did a Stage It. He's live on Instagram all the time. He has actually put out the songs he's working on, I'm not gonna say for free, but we're listening to him in the studio. So the things that's coming up on his upcoming album, I've already pre-heard. So, anyways, he was on stage. That's the only reason why I know about it.
Of course it is. But the Weeknd's new album's definitely giving me some, like, of his old album vibes. I mean, it wasn't bad. I would recommend you to listen to it if you generally like The Weeknd.
Yeah.
If you only like maybe like one or two of his songs, you're not going to enjoy the album because...
Don't say that, because people's tastes are different.
No, because if you don't already listen to The Weeknd...
Okay.
And if you heard some of the songs he's put out now...
Mm-hmm.
You're probably already not going to care for the album because it goes along that flow.
Again, people have their own taste. Just because you don't care for the album, that doesn't
I didn't say I didn't care for the album. I'm saying, Mom.
Yes.
If people generally don't listen to him
Mm-hmm.
and they don't like the songs, you're probably not going to care for it. Because I feel like this album is more so for the fans. You know how some people have like fan albums and then they like branch out to do different like radio songs and have like a kind of like a radio album, not to be shady or anything.
Okay.
This is an album that seems like it's for like his mixtape fans.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a listen and review on it since you have things to say.
Moving on.
So, what shows have y'all been watching since we all been quarantining? Or have y'all been catching up with some shows that we recommended? Because if you have, that means you watched Life After Lockup.
Correct.
And now that it's went off, finally, the second season. I heard it had 51 episodes in the season.
Was it 51? 50? It's over 50. It was on for a while.
It was on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely are going to do a review on the next seasons because that one
yes.
looks good too. But we're just going to touch up on some of the characters on the show. So who you want to start off with first?
Whoever.
Let's start with your favorite, Mar and Andrea.
Okay.
So they're finally moving to LA. Now, I saw that some people had a problem with this part of the episode. I know you did too.
Oh, yeah? Which part?
Mostly about Andrea just being like, oh, she don't want to move to LA because, you know, all the police. She's worried about her black son and all that stuff. Somebody was like, oh, now you worried that you have a black son? They said that. It's just mostly about how she was just given a negative depiction on what LA is.
Well, yeah, well, it's from LA from her perspective, because what I didn't appreciate, and I think I touched on this again, so I'll just say it again. Andrea has married someone who spent his life, his younger life, when he was a teenager, early 20s or so, in a street gang. She knew this when she married him. She had a wedding that referenced that. Mm-hmm. So you meaning Andrea, had no reason, right? Well, you have all your rights, but you had no reason to even say, oh, my black son. Okay, it's your black son, your daughters, you and your husband every day of the week. She thinks that living in Utah makes it safer. Not really. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I just don't like the fact that she is it comes across like she's trying to keep her kids from the outside world or turning them against people who look like them. Like, oh, we can't do that because they're black or they're black. I mean, they're black. What example are you setting for your son? Now Lamar is their father figure, because clearly or allegedly their father hasn't been in their lives. So what are you portraying to them? Like, oh, we don't do that because black people over there, like, they're not black. That's what I don't appreciate about Andrea. She is having colorism.
She's a hypocrite.
Yeah, within her own self and with her own family. And I knew when I saw the episode, when they did that vote, Utah or LA, I knew her oldest daughter would vote for that. I knew she would, because she seems like she wants to come up under her mom's thumb. Like, you can tell how Andrea tries to keep her kids, hold them back. But I think the daughter wants to see, quote unquote, the world. You know, she even said that her daughter even said, well, you know, with her dance thing, more opportunities. Well, yeah, there's more opportunities in bigger cities. And if you have the opportunity to move to a bigger city, because that's where your husband's from, that's where he lives, move to the bigger city. But she said she's going to try it for a year. But she wants to be pregnant 9 out of those 12 months. So I was like, here we go.
Right. So basically that would make you stay even longer. But that's her logic. So
Yeah.
Clinton Tracy. This, once again, was so sad with them. I actually felt for Tracy a little bit because she seemed like she really wants to get better, you know?
You thought that?
Yeah, I did. Even though she only stayed there the first time for like a day.
24 hours. I didn't think that.
But she went back to do her 45 days.
She did go back. But I really didn't feel like she went to rehab on her own. I think she was talked into it. And then when they said that she left 24 hours later, she wasn't feeling it. But I don't know when she went back to finish her 45 day, because eventually she did. For some reason, she may have been court ordered. I don't know. But that's a long time for her to stay on her own. But allegedly, she's back to, like we said in previous videos, she's back to doing whatever she was doing before with the DWI I heard about. So.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Well, Tony and Angela got married.
I don't know what. Does that mean?
Yes, it's mean.
Oh.
She loves Tony. Their wedding was cute. It was nice. I like the colors. The colors brought out both of them, like skin wise, eye wise.
White, yellow. It was like a color of a daffodil flower, a daisy or something. That was nice.
It was really nice. Maybe that's why I liked it, because I like those flowers.
Yeah.
It was really cute and nice. But then we found out 2 days later, because she don't trust Tony. Okay. So she got his SIM card because he was acting suspicious.
And I was just like watching the episode like, why didn't you get that SIM card in advance like you did before? Then you would have known he was cheating on you with them prostitutes, allegedly, that you call them, Angela. Before you got married, and you would have skipped all this heartache. But I still think she would have got married anyways because, say it again.
She loves Tony.
Exactly.
So we found out the end, she changed the locks. She kicked him out the house, and now he's living in a hotel. Mm-hmm. I have a strong feeling we gonna see them again in future episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's not over with them. And Tony and Tommy. I feel so bad for Tommy.
I don't.
Why?
I just don't. Why are you gonna keep holding on to someone who clearly doesn't want you? And they're both mental health professionals, that it says. I want to know if they're true licensed mental health professionals, because that's not how one should go about their business. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, what people do behind closed doors is something
That's why
different.
I said it's just my opinion.
Okay. Shane and Lacey. Shane, Lacey, and John. Lacey is so trifling. Like, so trifling. Mm-hmm. And when I saw John sitting on the curb, he just looked so sad. I'm like, oh.
Not John, Shane.
You know what I meant. They look the same, kind of.
No.
Shane sitting on the curb, and John was like, oh, that's all you gotta say for yourself? You leaving with trash bags? And it's like, sir, why are you antagonizing this little boy? How old is he?
He's not a little boy.
22?
He's a young man. He's 21.
He's younger than me.
But he's not a little boy. He's a young man.
Surprisingly. But he's younger than John is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And John, honestly, he needs to redirect all that hate, all that energy to Lacey. Because Lacey is the one who cheated on you in prison, didn't want to get married to you anymore, and married a whole nother man. And not only did she marry that man, she brought him with her.
Tell it.
To him getting released. Who does that?
Lacey.
Like, for what? Like, what was the reason?
I have no more comments for Lacey because they wouldn't be nice. Our channel probably be shut down. So.
Well, just know it was all around trifling, and at the end, you know, Shane went on his little merry way.
As he should have. I know his feelings are hurt, but he should have, because that connection with Lacey and John is not going away. They're both codependent upon each other.
Well, speaking on relationships, we see Marcelino and Brittany.
Yep.
Brittany got denied from fighting her other kids, which I thought was sad. And one of the things that got her denied was because she was on drugs, which counts as abuse and neglect, I guess, in the state of Nevada.
Yeah.
Didn't know. Now I know.
Now we know.
And once again, I kind of felt like this episode was mostly sad. I felt sad during this whole episode.
With who?
With
Clinton Tracy is sad because they need to be on intervention.
I felt sad for Shane. I felt sad for Brittany. I felt sad for Tommy.
I didn't feel sad for Brittany.
I didn't feel sad for Megan, Michael, Sarah, Maria, but we'll get on them.
I didn't feel sad for Brittany. I felt disappointed for her in that moment because she got those results. But those kids are still under the age of 18, so maybe in 5-6 years when they're over the age of 18, she could look for them then. You know, when they're adults. But right now they're minors and they're trying to keep the safety of the minors. I mean, the courts don't know that Brittany has changed and turned her life around. So she would have to show just cause, I guess, if she wanted to fight that. But if I was her, I would wait till they're 18 because that may cause them undue stress right now. But I wasn't like sad for that because Brittany's pregnant for the second time with Marcelino, and you know they did their gender reveal, and I was happy to see that.
Yeah, little boy Marcelino, he was so excited.
He was
like, I'm gonna have a boy that looks just like me. Sir, he's not gonna look like you. He's not gonna look like
well, you never know.
He's gonna look like Brittany, like her other two kids do.
Well, maybe, but you never know. DNA. I mean, you never know. But the point is, he's having a boy. And that's what he wanted, always wanted, was a boy of his own. Now he has one.
You know what? Marcelino's starting to grow on me.
Me too.
I don't know why. Maybe it was just these couple episodes, you know, he's been in high spirits. Well, I'm going to need him to keep the high spirits because I actually really like him. I already like Brittany. Okay, at first Brittany, she was kind of like shady with their girlfriend in prison. But we moved past that and she just started to grow and evolve, you know. And I'm just like, yes, Brittany, live your best life now.
I'm telling you, if they ever see this, and we see you driving along, not during the pandemic crisis, I'm going to say hello to y'all.
Definitely.
So
now moving on to the couple that I did not feel sorry for, neither one of them except for the kids. Megan, Michael, Sarah, Maria. Now I'm going to touch on them individually.
okay.
Megan, I don't feel sorry for you because...
No.
I mean, yeah, you didn't know that he was married, but as soon as you found out that he was married and then his wife was still talking mess to you about them still being married and she could still have him whenever she wants, and then she got pregnant again
Yeah.
by him. And like he's ghosting you and he only talks to you every now and then. His mom don't like you. Sister talking mess to you. It's like,
why continue?
Like for what?
Because to me only, that's a self-esteem issue.
She needs to work on her singing career.
Or not just that, or like some people, some men, some women, not all, in relationships feel like, you know, when you meet someone, they're like, oh, well, they'll treat me different. Hopefully they will treat you different. But if they have a pattern, patterns usually repeat themselves. So
especially like in Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
When they say you need to have those guidelines, you need to make those guidelines, because if you don't make no guidelines and you just let him do what he do and he did what he did, he gonna continue to do what he do and did what he did to you. You know?
That reminds me of an old Jermaine Jackson song. Do what you do when you did what you did to me.
I don't know that song.
I know you don't. I do though. Look it up.
So that's how I feel about Megan. She just need to work on her music career, you know. Do some backup singing and
go from there.
Album, you know, because you can sing and all that stuff. You have potential. So live your best life once again.
Please. Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, because Maria and Michael are basically together.
Save Michael for last.
Sarah, I don't feel bad for you.
Don't say it like that.
I'm going to say it like that.
Okay.
I don't feel bad for you because you continuously put yourself in this position. Not just with Megan, but with other people before Megan. Because, of course, there was other people before Megan. And, of course, you knew. But you decided to stay and persist. Now, okay, yeah, you're young. You're still growing and stuff. I'm not mad at that. But what I'm mad at is you still continuing to get pregnant. Because you're not only affecting your life, you're affecting your children's life.
The rumor is baby number 3. It's just a rumor. Hadn't been confirmed.
I hope that's not a rumor because...
No, it's a rumor.
I hope it stays a rumor. Because you don't need 3 kids.
You didn't see her take the pregnancy
I
test?
did see her take the pregnancy test.
So then it's a rumor. It's a, well, is she or is she not? I guess we'll find out either next season or if someone breaks a spoiler if she is.
Well, I'm plucking off the last leaf off the flower and say she is not. Because I don't want her to be for her own sanity and for her children. So, yeah, I don't feel bad for you. And you should realize that you are a single mom because Michael's been doing this to you over and over and over again.
Well, let me tell you why I feel sorry for Sarah on one part only. Is because, yes, she's a single mom, and that's where I feel bad for her. Because those kids are young. And those kids have to see her go through the ups and downs of emotions and her trying to explain things, especially to the oldest, Aviana, because Sarah may talk to her friends on the phone or whoever, her grandma, whoever, and she talks about Michael and Aviana might be in the room. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe Aviana picks up those things because kids don't know unless you tell them or they overhear them. So I feel bad about that because she does want those kids to have a dad. She does. That's where I feel bad about it. But as far as relationship goes with Michael, I don't feel sorry for her for that at all because, again, she knew the kind of man Michael is and has been to her. So she should have to find a way to let it go. And I think, in one episode, Michael said his and Sarah's connection is strong. Now, I can see that because they had been together since they were young. And I feel they do have love for each other, even outside the kids. But as far as the single mom part of it, because those kids are young, you got to move on. Just like Megan. Find your voice, move on for you and the sake of those kids. That's the only way you can move forward. So, anyways.
Okay.
Maria,
I really don't have too much to say about Maria because...
I think Maria needs to mind her business. That's between Michael and Sarah. And it's just like any outside person who is not the child's mother or the child's father, even if you're married to them, really don't have too much to say. And if you do have much of a say, just my opinion, say it to them, not to the ex-spouse or ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, because that causes and keeps ongoing drama you don't need. So.
But yeah, I don't really have too much to say about Maria because she seemed like she gonna do whatever Michael wants just to please Michael. And that's that.
And Maria's background, for what was spilled, she had a rough background too, so she really can't talk about nobody, and she definitely can't talk about Sarah from the things that she has been allegedly arrested for in the past. But anyway.
But for Michael, oh my goodness.
Michael stole the show for me this season. Michael was the show this season. Michael was the show, and Tony was the show this season. Because things revolved around Michael.
Tony and his, what did you call him, the dollar store plies?
No, I read that on someone's review, and I fell out laughing.
Even right. I was so in love with plies when I was in the 6th grade.
I don't know why. I still don't know why. But I read that on a review, and I cried. I don't remember who said it, but that was one of the best comments I've read. But the thing is, Michael did exactly what someone without standards allowed him to do this season. So did Tony. They stole the show. The show should have been Love After Lockup or Life After Lockup featuring Michael and Tony. Because it was the show. I watched this show specifically to see what Michael was doing with who and what Tony was going to get away with and how Angela was going to react. Because Clint and Tracy just need to be on intervention. They should have been pulled from the show because it was sad to see. We don't need to see someone decline from drugs every season because that was them. And then Marcelina and Brittany really didn't have too much drama. That poker thing weren't drama. Her getting pregnant and, having their next baby, that's not drama.
Right.
And Lacey, she weren't drama. That's just scandalous. That deserves to be on on a late night HBO. I mean, from the rumors or alleged what she does for a living anyways.
It's not alleged, it's true.
Well, then she should have been on late night HBO.
And not only is it true, Shane was getting in on an action too.
The point is, it was the Michael and Tony show this season. And Michael, he comes across as a hothead like I touched on. Michael needs to also get it together because this lifestyle is going to run out. You living off women is going to run out.
Oh, it's not.
It's not cute. It's not cool. It's not going to get you no Social Security benefits. It's going to run out. You just need to do better for yourself and for those kids.
You know what tripped me out?
What?
When he was like, I just had to let go of the baggage. I was like, you have your nerve.
Because you are the baggage.
Right. I mean, you the one who chose them. You the one who led them on. But now they too much for you.
Well, maybe he found something in Maria. I don't know. It's possible. People can change.
I cannot.
But
I cannot.
Yeah. So let's bring on the next season so we can see what's going on. And I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer.
Mm-hmm. So lastly, the other show we're going to talk about is Bride and Prejudice, Forbidden Love. It comes on after Married at First Sight. You guys should definitely watch it. Plus, it's only an hour. It's a quick little watch or whatever. So we're going to talk about, once again, our 3 couples. But first, this episode was about, Pastor Cal wanted to bring the couples together with the parents who have the biggest issue with them getting married. But before we did all of that, one thing I want to talk about, because, mostly throughout the beginning of the show, it was like the couples were getting together, just talking about stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Willie this time was sitting down with Cameron because Kiki was like, you're like a school teacher, but you don't have a voice. You need to speak up and stand up for yourself or whatever, and what she believes in. So she told Willie to do that. Well, suggested Willie should do that. And Willie did that this episode, first with Cameron. So to Cameron, when they were having dinner, she was like, I really want you to convert to Judaism.
Mm-hmm. And how did that go?
Well, he was still like, I'm not converting. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not changing my mind.
Right.
He's like, I don't understand why we can't have an interfaith relationship.
Well, they've been having one.
Right.
Technically.
Well, yeah, they've been having one.
Yeah.
And just to be open and happy with it. But everyone knows, if you watch the show or you watch our reviews, Willie's dad is the one who, is putting the pressure on her. Like, no, you need to marry someone who's Jewish, mm-hmm. or they need to convert to Judaism, period. Or else, I'm not going to accept this. And you can definitely tell that Willie wants this acceptance from her parents, but at the same time I could kind of see that she's like, maybe it's not, everything that I need to be happy. I definitely saw that throughout this episode and when they meet with her parents. But first, we're going to start off with Kareem and Kiki because we're going to start off with them because not only did they go first, but Willie's dad was jumping on everybody's conversation. I'm like,
sir, knock it off.
In my words.
Yes.
Exactly. So we found out from Kiki's mom, which, she's the youngest, I believe.
Yeah, I think
of
so.
Like 8 kids or something high in that number. And Kiki's mom was like, Cameron, I always call him Cameron. Kareem is abusive. He is dominant. He's controlling over Kiki. And Kareem was just like, I just feel like it's being a bad picture painted of me based off what Kiki's saying.
Yeah.
And Kiki was like, I feel like my mom's just taking too personal because I talk mess about my other siblings all the time. But one of the things that they had to point out was, your mom knows your siblings.
Right.
Your mom don't know him.
Right.
And that was definitely the biggest strain we could see because the mom's like, well, I don't know you. And Kareem's like, well, I'm not really connected to my family and I'm not connected to her family and I want to be connected to her family. And the mom was like, you need to call. You need to pick up the phone and call. And then Kareem was like, he had a little like soap moment. He was like, wait a minute. And he was talking to Pastor Cal. He was like, we haven't been really moving forward with all of this. So what else is there advice you can give me? Because all you've been giving me is I need to step up and be a man because I'm 23.
Yeah.
And Pastor Cal was like, I'm only here to give you the blueprint, pimping. Like, I'm here to spoon feed you. But Kareem was just like, he wants more. And then Pastor Cal, I believe he was touched on the subject of like, this has something to do with Kareem's age because, like I said, he wants to be spoon fed.
For sure.
He wants everything handed to him, but he doesn't want to do the work. And this is when Willie's dad jumped in. He was like, you need to stop making excuses and go to them because I guess her mom lives in Alabama and they live in Atlanta.
Which is Georgia. The next state over.
Right. So it's not really that far of a drive. But basically, people think, well, not people, Pastor Cal and Willie's dad thinks that he's making excuses.
Well, you mean just a call or just to
communicate with them.
Oh.
With their mom.
He might be afraid to. And, sometimes not everybody who's young need to be spoon-fed. But depends on how young you are. Like, you don't know a lot about life. You think you do.
You sound like Willie's dad.
But it's true, though. Because I first got married. You know how old I was, right? I was 19. That is super young. I can't begin to tell you how many people try to talk me out of it. Like, my mom, my dad, my brother, my friends, everybody. Because he was 5 years older than me at the time. But, thinking you know everything, I decided to go through it anyways. And I was married for 10 years. But during that 10-year period from 19 to 29, I had you and I had your brother, and you guys are 4 years apart. So looking back now, I can see like, wow, like I really didn't know all the things that I thought I knew. And I wouldn't necessarily encourage someone young to get married until you know what it is that you're looking for in life, because it brings a lot of changes, not necessarily challenges, it brings a lot of changes. So being spoon-fed, I can see why they say that.
Mm-hmm.
So
moving on to Blair and Chris. Okay, so in the beginning when Pastor Cal, he was actually talking to the parents first because he was like, just think of one thing that you can tell to the spouse that they can like work on and stuff. And of course, Blair's mom was like, excuse me, there's more than just one thing. And it's like, lady, just pick one thing. Jesus. Being all difficult and stuff. And so later on when we see them all together, and Blair's mom was basically like, she's been saying this whole time,
she's made it clear.
I want well, she said she got offended and shut down when Blair accused her mom of wanting her to marry white. And she's like, that's not the issue. The issue is I just want my grandchild to look like us. And everybody's like,
side-eye.
Yeah. And Pastor Cal was like, so are you saying, like he gave an analogy, if I was to say that to someone else, that I want my grandchild to look like me, what would that mean? And she was like, black. And everybody's like,
so
do you get what you're saying
exactly.
is wrong? And she doesn't get what she's saying is wrong. And Pastor Cal wanted to like make it known like he doesn't feel like she's coming from a place of hatred, but just more of love and compassion for her daughter. And I'm like, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, racism, I've seen things that said racism equals hate. So maybe it's just people's perception, I guess. But
yeah, they were talking about that, and then she let it be known that her husband's Afghan American, and everybody was really looking confused. And even Kiki was like, hold on, wait, backpedal on this.
You know what? I'm telling you right now, that could be a completely different topic based on race for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, basically, she was like, you say that you're not racist or prejudiced or whatever, but when you said to pass the cow that when they want their grandchild to look like them, you said black, you could have said tall, you could have said bald, you could have said anything, but you said black. Mm-hmm. But she's still persisting on she's not prejudiced. She's still on that. She's like, no, that's not what I mean. That's not who I am. Mm-hmm. And she basically doesn't want to talk about the topic. And Blair's mom, not Blair, but Blair is actually kind of like, stressed about it because she doesn't want to lose a relationship with her mom. But at the same time, she loves, her husband, Chris. So she's kind of like in the middle with that.
Yeah.
String with that. Mm-hmm. I don't think Willie's dad had too much to say on that one besides the purchase part. But now since we're talking about Willie's dad, let's just go jump into Willie and Cameron. So it was Willie and Cameron with the ultimatum that Willie attempted to give Cameron, and Cameron was not budging. Mm-hmm. Cameron did let, people know that, I don't want to convert to Judaism, period. Mm-hmm. And I just want to be happy in our interfaith relationship. And basically, the dad just kind of shut everything down. He was like, no, I'll respect your decision. It don't work like that. You think it works like that. The world isn't all peaches and cream and roses, dandelions and rainbows and all that other stuff. And her mom basically co-signed it. She was like, yeah, I was in an interfaith relationship until I chose to switch over to Judaism. There we go.
Well, Blair's mom and Willie's dad have held their stance, whether it be right or wrong, from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So if that's what they believe it wholeheartedly, and they're very strong in that. So, I mean, it's up to their daughters to either stay with it for the sake of family or stay with it for the sake of their fiancé.
Well, Willie's dad basically is like, I'm not going to accept this if he isn't converted to Judaism at all. So Willie's dad was basically like, since Cameron basically drew a line saying that he don't want to convert over, are you going to look me in my face and tell me that you're still going to marry this person, be with this person when he doesn't want to convert? Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, I'm going to. I was like, okay, Willie. Had her voice the whole episode.
But I mean, they've been together for 5 years. It's been interfaith for 5 years. He lives with you and your daughter for the last 2 years. It's been interfaith. So again, this is not the first time she's heard a problem with him not being Jewish. That I'm just gonna stand with that. Like, I don't understand the problem with that. She should have had her voice a long time ago. Because what made her and her fiancé comfortable enough to live with her family, knowing how they feel?
Maybe because the dad thought that eventually he would convert over to Judaism. Maybe. Just like the wife did. But it was kind of interesting because Chris had something to say about this too. He was like, as a man to man, do you really expect him to like convert over to a different religion? Mm-hmm. And you already know what Willie's dad said. Do I have to tell you?
Tell it to the people.
He's basically like, yeah, if you want to be with my daughter, he's going to have to convert.
I'm not surprised. I'm not. To me, that was even a waste of a segment with them on the show, because her dad is so steadfast, and the girl's mom is steadfast too. So there was no sense of getting them into like a round table discussion. They're not moving. Mm-hmm. They're not moving. They're not budging. So.
Yeah. So on the preview for next week's episode, we kind of saw like Willie look like she was backpedaling. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, Willie, take a stance. I know it's hard to choose between your family or fiance. But you definitely have to make a stance. It's either family or fiance, because he definitely made it clear. If you didn't get it clear, I got it clear.
I got it clear episodes
He's
ago.
not converting at all. Period.
And you shouldn't keep asking him, trying to make him, because that will cause resentment. And the relationship is on the path to failure. Not saying it will, but I mean, that will always be in the back of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, that is basically our weekly recap.
Yeah.
For this week.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely more than last week. Had different topics to talk about. Hopefully next week, a week's time, we'll get better news about things.
Yes.
And if you guys want to, we definitely suggest that you leave us different topics down below that you want us to talk about for next week. Or you can go to our IG at Millennium_and_Mom. I know it's all underscores, but someone already took Millennium Mom altogether. So I'm like, we're going to underscore it.
I almost had a mom moment. I almost said .com, but I didn't.
So you can do that. If you have like pictures or videos about what's going on in your city, because like I said, the viewer's eye is always better than the media's eye.
Yeah.
So you send that to us so we can look at it. Different shows you want us to watch on Netflix, Hulu, even on the Comcast, or what did Donald Trump call it today? The Comcast.
He did say that yesterday.
You could definitely leave us some suggestions. We're all open for it.
Thank you to our new subscribers. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely got a surge of subscribers. We definitely do appreciate it. We read all the comments. We like all the comments. We comment on the comments, of course. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys can tell who's commenting.
We give who says what at the end of the comments. So whether it be mom.
But I kind of think that people can tell.
I think
if you watch our videos enough, you can kind of tell.
One of our commenters, one of our subscribers, and I'm gonna shout him out, Subby number 13, definitely know who is who. He makes me laugh.
But once again, thank you guys. Stay safe out there.
And as always, live simply, be grateful.